In this March 2023 best savings accounts update, I've got a load of changes to interest rates on regular savers, easy access fixes, loads to get through in this video. What I will say, as I always do every month with these things will change. These rates will change on a regular basis. They may change tomorrow, next week, day after. Every single day things change. So if you want to make sure you get the latest rates, head over to becleverwithyourcash.com/savings. That's where every single day I am updating the best account. So that is the place to go after watching this video. But we have a lot to go through. So let's go over now to the blog where I'll be showing you some of those top rates. So let's start off with easy access accounts. You can see my pick of the ones here. As I said, this isn't every single account. These are just the ones I'm going to be telling you about in this video. There are others below and around some of the lower rates down here. But right at the top there, you can see Zopa, 3.21% easy access account. This is app only. And they introduced that rate late last Friday, just hours after Tandem, the one below that, increased their rate up to 3.2%. So either of those ones right now, you cannot beat those. Quick note here on Tandem, that rate includes a 0.2% bonus. You have to activate that 0.2% bonus. If you haven't already done that, if you've got an account or you open a new one, make sure you do that within the app. Really easy to do. Now just below that is Chip paying 3.15%, and that was top of the table for a good few weeks there. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a move in the next few days and weeks to go top of the table again, because they're keen to be the highest paying account. But obviously Tandem and Zopa have jumped above. So if you have your money in Chip right now, maybe hold fast. Don't necessarily rush to move them to one of the other accounts, because it might be that in a few days they're back at the top. Obviously if they do, I'll let you know over at becleverwithyourcash.com/savings. Now below this, if you want to sort of let you know about, as I said, there are other accounts paying around that 3% mark, but these are the ones that kind of really point out to you. First of all, if you are someone who wants a Sharia compliant account, Arayan have come in with 3.05%. Really interested to hear the next one from Monzo. Monzo have never really offered anything in the way of savings that's been that impressive. A little bit of money on your pots, but nothing brilliant. At 3%, it's not too far off the top. Not the best one, as you can see from those increases we've had in the last few days and weeks, but that is pretty impressive. If you already have a Monzo account, you like them for your banking, you have to set up a separate instant access pot within Monzo to get that. Don't forget as well, there is a £5 refer a friend deal, so you haven't got a Monzo account, that's a nice little bonus you can get on top. A few more ones to tell you about them, a little bit interesting. Not the best paying, but the interesting ones. Skipton Building Society has a base rate tracker account. This one pays 1.1% below the Bank of England base rate. Now, you might have seen my video already from a few weeks ago that the interest rate jumped up to 4%. We're going to get another interest rate announcement 20-something of March, about 2.5 weeks. And it could well be the interest rate goes up again. If they do, it means you are guaranteed that this interest rate, this savings account, will improve. So it might not be the best one out there, but it will go up, and you're guaranteed at least to know for 2 years that you will follow the base rate. The flip side of that obviously is that the rate could go down at some point in the future, in which case it will drop and it might not be amongst the best. But again, other accounts might do the same. So it's an interesting one if you just want to get your money in an account and just know that it will improve if the base rate improves. Also, as a building society, you could also take it as a good option for you if you want to make sure your money is in an ethical account, because building societies, as I've told you many times, are much better places for your money than many of the other savings accounts out there. And a couple more to tell you about here of interest. Again, not at the top, but they're not far off. NS&I income bonds and NS&I direct saver. The reason I'm telling you about these ones is twofold. One, you can open them up via the phone or by post, or at least one of them you can. So some of you don't want to open it by an app or online, that's an option for you. But secondly as well, again, very few of you this is going to matter to, but the amount of money that is protected in these accounts is the full amount. Not just that 85,000 which you get with the Financial Services Compensation Scheme protection on other accounts. So if for some reason you have a large amount of cash that you want to keep available to you for a decent amount of time, obviously there is a temporary increase if you sell a house or get an inheritance with other accounts for the Financial Services Compensation Scheme protection, but it's up to obviously 1 million or 2 million there. Again, not many of you this can relate to, but it's worth knowing about. Next up, let's look at limited access accounts, because there have been some improvements here as well. The first one here, Yorkshire Building Society. They have increased the rate on their rainy day saver on the first £5,000 to 3.35%. So in terms of just normal accounts, this is the best you're going to get, other than ones I've mentioned before, such as the Barclays current account rainy day saver. But this one, 3.35%. However, there are limitations. You can only take money out of this account twice in a year. So it's not going to be for everyone. But if you've got 5K, you want to put it aside, you want it in something ethical like a building society, you're not going to touch it, that's not a bad option. Next level down from here, another improvement is HSBC, their online bonus saver. You can only get this if you've got a savings account or a current account with HSBC. But this has increased to 3.25% from 3%. However, you can only put up to £10,000 into this account. And if you take money out, the month you withdraw money, it drops down to 1.2%, which is an improvement of where it was just a few days ago at 0.5%. But again, this is an account if you're going to put some money away and not touch it. However, if you're going to do that, as we'll get to, there might be some better options in notice or fixed rate accounts. And also Coventry Building Society, another limited access account, that's also improved 3.1%. So not too bad, not far off the top there. This one limits you to 6 withdrawals a year. So again, decent options to consider if you're not going to be touching your money, you want to build a society for whatever reason. Again, not far off that range. And you can see from those two things, the easy access and the limited access, very, very, very easy now to get above 3% on the bulk of your savings. Now, one way you can boost your instant access, your easy access accounts is maybe to put money into a notice account. So you're not going to be able to get the money out immediately. You have to say, I want to take it out in a week, a month, 3 months, or 4 months. There are even longer ones as well out there, but I'm focusing just on those sort of 3 to 4 months ones here. And as you can see here, you can get up to 3.55% in these accounts. Now from the top there, 120 days notice, Moneybox 3.46%, 90 days, so a shorter amount of notice, with 3 months before you can access that cash. Investec 3.55%. If you want a higher rate, that's obviously the best one there. Zopa, this is an extension of their easy access account. So you'd open up the easy access account and you can choose to put some of that money into a notice account. 31 days is 3.31%, 7 days, just a week, 3.25%. So little ways just to nudge your money up a little bit if you want to. Now, the next ones to tell you about are some changes to regular savers, and we are getting to some really tasty interest rates here. Some really high level ones, still below the rate of inflation, but they're absolutely worth considering if you have current accounts with these banks, or open up a current account with these banks, because they do require you to have them, at least for these top paying ones. Now the new ones, let's talk about those first of all. We'll talk about from Club Lloyds. You have to have a Club Lloyds current account, and they will now offer you 6.25% interest on their monthly saver. Most you can put in there every single month is £400. It's one of the higher paying regular savers out there. However, this new rate, this 6.25% rate, is only for people who open up a new regular saver with them, a new monthly saver via Lloyds. If you've had one of these accounts in the last 12 months, which basically means if you've got one already, you will stick at the old rate. You won't be able to open up this new one until that one matures after a year. Then you can open it up. You can't close it early and open a new one. Sadly, if you do that, you won't be able to access the new one. So it probably isn't worth doing that. They've also made changes to their normal Lloyds saver. That has gone up from 4.5% to 5.25%. And as I've told you before, if you have a Club Lloyds account, you can access both the Club Lloyds monthly saver and the normal Lloyds monthly saver. So they are really worth considering getting both of those. Up to £650 aside every month you can put in away for a decent amount of interest. Bank of Scotland, part of that Lloyds group, they've also increased rates on their regular saver, their monthly saver. That is now 5.5%. So again, one of the higher paying ones out there. The other big changes come from NatWest and RBS. I did speak about this in a separate video recently. They have improved their digital regular saver rate to 6.17%. So not quite as good as that Club Lloyds account, but it's up there, really, really worth considering it. However, this one does have a couple of different restrictions. You can only put up to 150 quid into this account every single month. But after a year, unlike those other ones I've mentioned so far, after a year, that one does not end. It does not expire. You'll carry on earning that interest until you have a balance of £5,000. Obviously, it takes a while for you to get there if you only put 150 quid in every single month. There is a hack, a little trick, which some people use, where you can put more in every month by doing roundups from your spending on your NatWest debit card, and you can double those up as well. I did speak about this briefly in my current account update the other day, so check that out if you're interested. And here you can see those accounts I've just mentioned amongst the top picks, the best paying regular savers. At the top though, remaining there at the top is still that First Direct regular saver, paying 7%. The most you can put in there every month is 300 quid. Don't forget there are other regular savers, there are other accounts already listed so far. Head to becleverwithyourcash.com/savings for the full list of all of those and the links where you can click through and see more information. Now, if you watch these videos every single month, you'll know that I've been saying how fixes are generally on the decline. It all goes back to when we had that crisis of the mini budget last autumn, where interest rates were predicted, because of those decisions there, to go up to around 6 to 6.5% in the summer of 2023. As a result, the fixes all kind of shot up following that prediction. And then as things kind of got sorted out and those predictions started to fall down, now the expectation on interest rates, the base rate of interest rates for this summer is to peak around 4.5%. Obviously, these things can always change. But because of that, we started to see those fixes start to decline from December, January onwards, and that continued through February as well. However, end of last month, the start of this month, there have been a few different banks starting to push rates up a little bit, and we've started to see them increase again just a tad. So as I warned before, the bad news of fixing before is if rates did improve, then you're locked in, you miss out on those increases. But if you did that, you might still be within time. There's not enough of a change, I think, really for you worth doing this, but you potentially could still be within those first couple of weeks where you can actually take your money out. You're not really made any penalties, not much going on. Open up one of these new accounts, pay more instead. However, possibly not worth it, but do the math, seeing what that difference would be. But here you go, here you can see the top paying fixes at the time of recording this. Again, they can change, they probably will change. But if you want a 6-month fix, you can get 3.75% from Atom Bank. If you want a 9-month fix, you can get 4% from FCMB via Raisin. If you want a 12-month fix, the best one here is from Al Dayan. This is expected profit rates, a Sharia account, but it will work out the same, 4.31% for a year. 12 months also, just below that, if you don't want Sharia for whatever reason, Atom is paying 4.3%. And if you want a 2-year fix, then the credit union, My Community Bank, is paying 4.48%. And while we're talking about these fixes, well, let's just talk quickly about another sort of fix you can get. This is the Green Savings Bond. This is a 3-year fix. It's paying 4.2%. Now, this is below the best 3-year fixes you're going to get right now. So it is a lower rate, particularly with the increases we've seen over the last few days. But what's interesting about the Green Savings Bond, this is from NS&I, by the way, National Savings and Investments, is that this is an ethical savings vehicle. This is money you put into there. It goes to the government to put onto green initiatives. Now, I have written a full analysis of this account over on the blog, so you'll be able to click through to that from becleveryourcash.com/savings. But ultimately, if you are willing to take a bit of a hit for your principals, to have that money doing good rather than potentially doing bad, such as investing in new fossil fuels or investing in arms manufacturers or whatever it might be, this is not a bad option. It's the first time this 3-year bond has been competitive. Word of warning though, for this one and some of the other fixes I've mentioned, other fixes you might look at as well, this green bond, you get all the money at maturity. So at the end of 3 years, you will get all of the interest. Now, depending on how much money you put in to those accounts, that could also mean a lot of money coming through in one lump sum. It could be more than £1,000, which if you're a basic rate taxpayer, that is your entire personal savings allowance. If you're a high rate taxpayer, then that PSA just goes down to £500. And a quick reminder, I have got a separate video looking at the PSA, look at the savings tax on your savings. That obviously could have an impact on your actual return in the end. You might be better off looking for an account that pays annually so you can fold that interest into that saving every single year, into your allowance every year, rather than having it all go in one go in 2-3 years, whatever it might be, depending on the type of fix. There's also just a quick one reference here. I don't think it's one worth going for particularly because all the interest is paid at maturity, but you can get a 7-year fix via Raisin right now, paying 4.45%. So if you did want to lock in a rate for a long time, that's not a bad bet. But of course, a lot of that would be going, you have to pay tax on that. So you'd actually reduce your actual return quite a bit. So I think it's probably not worth it, but it's one mentioning because that's quite a new, it's the only way you can get something beyond 5 years right now. A couple more things to talk about here. Premium bonds have also increased, 3rd month in a row. They now have a prize rate of 3.3%, and the first draw where that prize rate took place was March, just a few days ago. And unless they change things again, it's likely to be the rate in April. I've got a whole video looking at this in detail, so do check that out if you have or are interested in premium bonds. Now, 3.3%. Looks pretty enticing, looks pretty attractive, and when the best rate you could get elsewhere was around 3%, that wasn't bad. But as we've now seen things getting up to that 3.2, 3.21% in easy access, I would hesitate to actually go to premium bonds unless you need that tax-free benefit, because obviously anything you win in premium bonds is tax-free. So if you use your ISA allowance, and then premium bonds is not a bad bet. Now, as we're obviously getting into the end of the financial year, ISAs are becoming more important for a lot of people. Here are the best ones right now. If I've got time, I'll do a separate ISA roundup for the end of the month. But very quickly, as we look at these, the best one right now, 4.25, is a 1-year fix from Virgin Money. There will be higher fixes potentially for longer fixes, but that's pretty decent for a 1-year fix. That's competitive with just normal accounts, let alone ISAs. Another good one here is a 1-year fix at 4% from Barclays, but you have limited access. You can get up to 10% of the balance out 3 times during a year. So that's a really nice flexible option for you if you don't need to access the cash on a regular basis at a decent rate. Then we took a normal easy access, 3.01 from Shawbrook. Then we've got 3% from Coventry Beyond Society, limited access, but again, ethical option for you, and 3% from Virgin Money as well, if you have got a Virgin current account in order to get that. But they are good options for your cash ISAs this year if you're looking to put money in before the year goes up. And lifetime ISAs as well. Quick one here, the best pick here, the top paying one is from Moneybox. They are paying 3.5% on their lifetime ISA, their cash lifetime ISA. Now, just to end, a reminder, head to becleverwithyourcash.com/savings for all the best accounts. Many, many more that I've not mentioned today, including that 5.12% from Barclays, a rainy day saver, really worth looking at if you have a Barclays current account up to 5K, and lots more in there, all the other regular savers and more. So that is the place to go for all the information, becleverwithyourcash.com/savings. My name is Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back very, very soon with more videos to help you with your savings. So make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already, and check out these videos right here too.